Well, welcome to the bright side once again. This is your daily nutritional common sense health program. Common sense. Make no mistake about it, health is about common sense. What's not common sense is the craziness, the confusion, the obfuscation that passes for what we call the medical model. What's not common sense is having your organs fried and having your organs radiated and butchered out of your body or chemically destroyed to make you healthy. Who came up with this craziness? Taking out organs, radiating organs, frying your body, prescription drugs to ablate, which means destroy various organs. Who came up with this idea? This is how we get healthy? Cut out my organs to make me healthy? How did this become acceptable, ever? And of all the silly health strategies to pharmacologically poison your body, to change your test scores, this is what the commercial says, change your test scores, love your numbers. This is over the top. If we spend just 30 seconds thinking about the logic of what we're doing when we use prescription drugs for our health, it just doesn't pass the common sense test. If you're on a prescription drug, or worse, if you're on multiple prescription drugs for anything more than a short-term emergency or an antibiotic or pain pill, please listen. You're not getting better. You're getting worse. Prescription drugs represent a toxin to the body that has to be cleared out, that has to be processed. And it doesn't matter what your numbers say. It doesn't matter what your cholesterol numbers say if you're poisoning your liver to lower your cholesterol. It's irrelevant, and this is just common sense. We have detached ourselves from common sense because we're so intimidated by the medical model. It doesn't pass the sniff test, people. It's just common sense. If you take a drug, the liver processes it not like a food, like a poison, and that means more work, that means more stress for the liver, that means less resources available to really heal the body, and perhaps worst of all, it means less nutrients available for energy, for vitality, for long life, for brain health, for immune health, and for every other system in your body. For every prescription you take, for every toxic pill you take, you are reducing your body's ability to produce energy, to be vital. You're reducing your brain's ability to think clearly, your heart's ability to pump, and this is for every drug. This is the nature of prescription medicine. Now, I know there's times you need a prescription drug. Obviously, if you have an infection or you're in severe pain, or even in the case of a short-term degenerative disease crisis, in an emergency kind of thing, for an acute kind of crisis. But for long-term, daily, you're going to be on this medicine the rest of your life. It's nonsense. It's craziness. The more prescription medicines you're taking, the less B vitamins you have available for living your life. The less vitamin E, the less vitamin C, the less magnesium, zinc, selenium, all of it. If you're on a long-term prescription drug, you're not getting better. You're getting worse. Do you really want this? Now, I could sit here and rip the medical model and people who are sworn to take care of us, who are betraying us. I could rip them, but it's not their fault. We're doing it to ourselves. At the end of the day, we're taking the medicine ourselves because we believe, we trust that these people who are prescribing these things or who are recommending these procedures know what they're doing or have our interests in mind. Now, whether or not they have our interests in mind, I can't say, but I can tell you this: it isn't making you better. Prescription drugs cannot make you healthy, period. End of story. If you're on a long-term prescription drug program, or multiple, and many people are, you're not improving your quality of life. You're decreasing it. Most importantly, if you're on a long-term prescription drug, you haven't taken care of the problem. You have done absolutely nothing to take care of the real issues inside the body. Who came up with this crazy system? But you know what? None of this matters because we don't need drugs for our chronic diseases. We only need common sense. Good food, good nutrition, oxygen, some movement, a little bit of bodily stress, some physical exercise, lots of rest, lots of relaxation, lots of parasympathetic activation. That's pretty much it, people. And that's not a doctor issue. There's no doctor that can help you get rest. There's no doctor that can help you get a little exercise. There's no doctor necessary to have good nutrition or to take care of your digestive system. If you or a loved one is dealing with some kind of health challenge, autoimmune disease, cardiovascular disease, digestive issues, diabetes, whatever, this is the most empowering health message you will ever hear. You can fix yourself. The body can fix itself via its access, its direct connection to the divine healing power that lives in all of our cells and all of our bodies. If you're on a medication and you want to get off of it, we are here for you on the bright side. If you're not getting better, you're taking your drugs, you don't feel any healthier, you're not being helped by the medical model, we are your health advocates on the bright side. And it all begins with understanding the simplicity of the body and the simplicity of the bodily systems. For the most part, chronic degenerative disease is a plumbing issue. It's not a medical issue. The beginning of all degenerative disease is in plumbing. Hang tight. I'll finish up when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Our number today, 844-236-6010. 844-236-6010. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. We will be back right after this. Okay, so health, good health, not a doctor issue. It's something we can do ourselves. The Bright Side message is an empowering message. It's an inspiring message that says if you have a chronic degenerative disease, and millions upon millions, tens of millions of Americans are dealing with some kind of health issue. Probably 100 million Americans have one kind of health issue or another. That's 1 out of 3. If you're dealing with some kind of health issue that's long-term, chronic, degenerative, that's breakdown, it's not a doctor problem. I don't know how many different ways I could say this. Chronic degenerative disease is a plumbing issue. It's not a doctor issue. It's nothing we need the medical model for. It's nothing they could do except for drug us, cut our organs out, or radiate us, or ablate us, fry us. Who thinks this is health? For the most part, chronic degenerative disease is a plumbing issue. The beginning of all degenerative disease is clogged pipes, clogged circulation. One of the most important strategies for improving circulatory system, the body has all of these methods for improving circulation because circulation is how nutrients get delivered to cells, it's how oxygen gets delivered to cells, it's how detoxification occurs. And the body has many mechanisms for opening up the vasculature to improve blood flow, and we've been talking about one of the most important of all the mechanisms, and that's the gas chemical, the gas hormone, nitric oxide, which for many years was actually called relaxing factor. Before nitric oxide was discovered, scientists knew there was something going on in the body that was allowing the blood vessels to open up and it was causing the blood flow to improve. The body had a response, an ability to respond to clogs by opening up the vasculature and improving the blood flow. And doctors would just call this stuff, or medical folks, scientists would call this stuff relaxing factor until the late 1980s. They realized that relaxing factor was actually a gas. And this really blew biochemists' brains. It was a gas that was misted out of cells. Nobody had ever heard of such a thing, that a gas could actually get misted out of cells and cause effects over large areas of cells, relatively large areas of cells. The more they explored this molecule, the more they explored this gas, the more they found that there was actually other things that this gas was involved in. Gas, of course, is nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is absolutely fundamental to health, and it's a very, very weird molecule. It's probably one of the strangest, it may be the strangest molecule in the body, nitric oxide. It's involved in vasodilation, opening up blood vessels, lowering blood pressure, improves sexual performance, may be helpful for the heart, it helps thin the blood. Drug companies love this stuff. Drug companies love nitric oxide. As I was saying yesterday, it's the first class of prescription drugs, nitric oxide releasing drugs. They didn't know it was a nitric oxide releasing drug. I'm talking about nitroglycerin, but they knew that nitroglycerin had some really good effects on the body. These days, there's all these nitric oxide, these drugs that are not only increase the secretion or the release of nitric oxide, there's actually drugs that have a nitric oxide releasing factor attached to them. We talked yesterday about something called NCX4016. This is a high-tech version of aspirin. It's aspirin plus, aspirin 2.0. It's aspirin with a little piece of something that increases the production of nitric oxide. Aspirin has a negative effect on the gut lining, and this new drug, NCX4016, actually protects the gut lining via this nitric oxide releaser, so you can take as much aspirin as you need. There's another drug that is used to treat intestinal problems, colitis, ulcerative colitis, and IBS, etc. It's called Asacol, technically named mesalamine, and it's a type of aspirin. Problem with Asacol or mesalamine, again, is it irritates the gut. It irritates the intestine. So scientists and pharmacology or pharmacologists have come up with an Asacol, ASACOL, or mesalamine that has a little nitric oxide booster attached to it. There's an important relationship between the skin and nitric oxide. Skin cells will release nitric oxide when they're injured. Skin cells will release nitric oxide in response to ultraviolet radiation from the sun. There's lots of ways the sun helps improve our health. One of the ways is via this nitric oxide upregulation, increasing nitric oxide production. Now, some of this nitric oxide is going to cause inflammation, but nitric oxide's inflammatory effects aren't necessarily bad. Nitric oxide's inflammatory effects might actually be good. Sun stimulates the skin cells release nitric oxide, and the nitric oxide has a kind of protective effect, a pain-relieving effect, and an anti-inflammatory effect as well. Nitric oxide can cause inflammation, and it can cause anti-inflammation. Nitric oxide plays a role in wound response. Wound response is very, very fascinating. It's a multiphasic, multi-step process that's kicked off or initiated when nitric oxide is sprayed out of damaged cells. If you want to increase nitric oxide production, there's lots of ways you can do it. We talked yesterday about the diet, and the diet is very, very important. Probably not today, but on our next Bright Side episode, we'll talk about specific foods you could eat to upregulate nitric oxide. And nitric oxide deficiency may be more common than anybody thinks. Just like prostaglandin deficiencies may be more common than anyone thinks. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. Turns out that nitric oxide deficiencies may be a problem too. So eating nitrates, and we'll talk about that here probably in our next Bright Side episode. Using the sun. Another important strategy for supporting nitric oxide activity involves the relaxation nervous system, the so-called parasympathetic nervous system. This can be very, very important for the cardiovascular system, for blood flow. Nitric oxide, of course, is a key player in opening up blood vessels and keeping blood flowing throughout the body, making sure cells get nourished, making sure cells get detoxified. In fact, nitric oxide was first discovered in the lining of the cells that line the blood vessels. They would release nitric oxide and the blood vessels would open up, the so-called relaxation factor. You can upregulate nitric oxide by activating the parasympathetic nervous system by deep breathing, for example. There's lots of ways to activate this relaxation nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system. And let me tell you something, it's way more important to activate the PNS than to managing. All right, we're back on the Bright Side. I am Pharmacist Ben. Got lines open for you at 844-236-6010. On our next Bright Side episode, we'll talk about some strategies that you can use to upregulate to increase nitric oxide production. One of the most important strategies is to activate the relaxation nervous system, the so-called parasympathetic nervous system. This relationship between the relaxation and nervous system and the stress nervous system, the emergency nervous system, is the key to understanding how degenerative disease progresses. Under regulation of the stress nervous system, the immune system slows down, our body's defenses get weaker, our ability to heal and recover gets weaker, our blood pressure goes up. All the good things in life start to become diminished under conditions of long-term chronic activation of the stress nervous system. Ergo, thus, figuring out how to shut this thing down or to slow it down or to activate the relaxation nervous system is a key to understanding how to be healthy. The divine force works through relaxation. Deep breathing, massage, hot tubs. You ever notice how when you're in the shower and you have to take a nice hot shower, you don't want to get out? You just want to stay in there. That's because, for many people anyway, this is the only time we get to activate our parasympathetic nervous system. The relaxation nervous system is activated by warm water, hot baths, hot showers. I notice sometimes I want to stay in the shower even though I'm already clean. I want to stay in a little bit longer. That's because I'm activating my relaxation nervous system. When you activate the relaxation nervous system, you feel good. You activate happy hormones, relaxation hormones, peace hormones, healing hormones, anti-aging hormones. A hot shower is one of the best anti-aging strategies you could ever use. A hot shower, a hot bath is the best wrinkle cream you could ever use. Sitting still, doing nothing is the best anti-aging healing strategy you could ever use because you're activating the rest and relaxation nervous system. A good hot shower is way better than any prescription drug when it comes to turning on the healing process, when it comes to really reversing degenerative diseases. Your doctor tell you that? Anybody in the medical model tell you that? Anybody in the medical model write a prescription for a hot tub, for a hot bath? Any insurance companies paying for hot tubs or massages or lymphatic drainage? No, because insurance companies and the medical model are more interested in keeping you and me as a ward of the medical model. We're customers. We're not patients. We're clients. We're ways that the medical model supports itself. If you don't want to be an ATM for the medical model, get yourself on a good nutritional supplement program, practice your deep breathing techniques, activate the relaxation nervous system, move the body a little bit, make sure you're eating correctly, correcting digestive health issues, stabilize blood sugar. None of this is a doctor issue. Wouldn't you love to just be healthy without any prescription drugs, never having to go to a doctor? Doc Wallach is 70-something years old, 74, 75 years old, and you should see him in his talks, 3 hours, nonstop. And he's up at the crack of dawn, goes to bed at 1 or 2 o'clock. After his talks, you could sit there and have a conversation with him till after midnight. Never been to a doctor. Never taken a prescription drug. This is what the human body is capable of. If you're not accessing your body's health to its optimum levels, or you don't feel like you're accessing your body's health to its optimum levels, let us help you understand how to do that. 844-236-6010 is our number. 844-236-6010. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. Let's go off to Boston and welcome Lewis to The Bright Side. What's up, Lewis? How you doing, my man?
Hey, how you doing, Ben?
Doing good. What's going on in Boston? These
not
days.
Much.
Are you a Patriots fan?
Yes, I am.
Are you? You think they're going to the Super Bowl?
They might make it. I have faith in them.
Might. That doesn't sound like a Patriots fan. What are you talking about? Might. You're not a fanatic.
Yeah, but
you're not a fanatic. What's up, Lewis?
My question was, so I was going to start this regimen where I would eat 6 eggs. Well, actually, I would crack 6 eggs into the blender, mix it in with about 12 ounces of water and some protein. I know a friend of mine does it. He does bodybuilding shows.
How does that taste? How's it taste?
I haven't done it yet.
Well, it doesn't sound like it's going to taste that great. I mean, I love eggs. I love the taste of eggs, but I don't know about 6 of them. What kind of protein were you going to use?
It was co-processed One World Whey. Okay.
Here's the deal. Eggs are amazing food, and you can eat as many of them as you want. There's no real downside to them, but you might not necessarily need all that protein in one sitting. You know, if you're a bodybuilder, you're an athlete, you're using protein, that's different. But if you're not using a lot of protein, if you're not recovering from surgery or you're an athlete, you're building things, you might not need all that. You might not need all that protein in one sitting. Is there something? Are you doing some kind of athletic activity or something like that? What was your thinking?
Not necessarily. Just stay fit.
You know, I don't know if you need that much protein. You'll have to experiment on your own. Is that what you're asking me? You certainly don't have to worry about the cholesterol in the eggs if that's what you're thinking.
Okay.
That's a bunch of hooey. That whole dietary cholesterol thing is nonsense. Nonsense. You don't have to worry about dietary cholesterol, and you can tell your doctor's a bonehead if he tells you not to eat cholesterol-containing foods. That's a bonehead alert. If the doctor says, well, you got to stay away from eggs. We had a doctor on the show here about a year ago, and I didn't want to offend her on the air, but she was like, well, you should just eat the whites and not the yolks because the yolks have cholesterol, and that's how you can tell a doctor bonehead. If he says, or a nutritionist bonehead, if they tell you not to eat the yolks. The yolks are probably, certainly in the top 3 or 4 of all nutritionally dense foods. Egg yolks are in the top 3 or 4, maybe the most nutritionally dense of all foods. And to throw out the yolks because of the cholesterol is just silly. Here's something else interesting about cholesterol. The more cholesterol you eat, the less cholesterol your body makes. All right, tell that to the next bonehead medical person who tells you not to eat cholesterol. The more cholesterol you eat, the less cholesterol your liver cells make. Your body controls cholesterol very tightly. The number one reason why cholesterol levels go up is sugar, blood sugar, and insulin. The relationship between blood sugar, elevated blood sugar, and cholesterol is the more sugar you eat, the higher your cholesterol levels. And that's really what's behind hypercholesterolemia. It's not the cholesterol that we eat. Does that help? Is that what you were asking me, Lewis?
Yes.
Okay, does that help?
Definitely, yes.
Okay, good deal. God bless you, man. Happy holidays, bro.
Thank you.
Okay.
Likewise.
Leon in Vancouver, what's up? Welcome to The Bright Side. Leon, you there? Do we have Leon? What happened to Leon? All right, we're going to put Leon back on hold. Leon? No Leon. All right, let's go to Paco in California. What's up? Paco.
Hi.
Hey, Paco. What's going on?
Okay. Hi, Ben. I've been listening to you for about 2 years now, and I've been switched my diet, my eating habits around.
Good deal.
And,
how you feeling? Feeling better?
Oh, yeah. It's been a big, change in my whole lifestyle.
God bless.
Just to give you, a little background, in '99, I went in for a fusion of the disc. They said it was just a simple thing. 6 weeks later, the fusion started leaking. They had to go back and fix that up, and then they still didn't fix it. And then about 2004, they worked on it some more, and it still didn't work. And then I received a bunch of treatments, from all that, all those things, and I ended up getting cirrhosis.
Cirrhosis of the liver?
Cirrhosis. Yeah, because
from the surgeries. Wait a minute, Paco. From the surgeries, you got cirrhosis of the liver?
No, from other medications. Oxycontin and all those things they gave me.
How's your circulation? How's your heart?
The reason I called you is because 2 weeks ago, my blood pressure dropped to 40. I ended up in the ER.
Your blood pressure got to where?
To 40, and I ended up in the ER.
240. Oh, hang tight, Paco. We got to take a break. We'll get to you when we come back. Don't go away, Paco. If you're on hold, hang on. We'll get to you when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back after this. Okay, we're talking to Paco in California. Paco, you there? We have Paco
yes.
still? Hey, Paco.
Yes.
So you got a little. Your blood pressure zoomed up, huh? Did you say 240? Yeah. 240 over?
No, it dropped to 40.
Oh, your blood pressure dropped. Your blood pressure dropped. Okay, you got some low blood pressure issues. All right. Now, first things first, I always want to focus on the digestive system, especially if you're dealing with a liver problem. You got to hunt down digestive issues. You got to have some kind of digestive issues going on, either constipation. Usually it's constipation, but it could be loose stools or bloating or gas or anything that's affecting your digestive system needs to be connected to specific foods, and those foods need to be eliminated. That's always job number one. If you need to do a food diary, get yourself a notebook, write down everything you eat, write down how you feel every couple of hours after you eat that food. And then when you notice foods are causing specific problems, eliminate those foods. Step number one. If you do a little swear a V fast, maybe for 1 or 2 days, and then reintroduce foods back into your diet, that might make it a little easier to isolate specific problem foods. And then also probiotics are very important. The good bacteria are going to be very helpful for you. And then in terms of digestive health, you may want to consider using some apple cider vinegar after your meals, and then digestive enzymes as well. Digestive enzymes taken on an empty stomach can also have some beneficial effects for your circulation, for your blood flow. And that might help your cardiovascular health issues. Keeping your blood sugar stable is also very, very important. And that means more protein, less bread and pasta and cereal and burritos and pizza and anything that's got the starchy, floury kind of nature to it. Fruit juice is probably best avoided. Fruits, small amounts maybe, but not a whole bunch. And certainly desserts and those kinds of foods that throw off your blood sugar. Those will wreak havoc on the circulatory system. Making sure you're using the sweeties as well as your electrical nutrients. Extremely important for all circulatory health issues. Potassium and calcium and magnesium and sodium. You'll find all these in vegetables, vegetable juices, and of course in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Don't forget your good fats and your fatty vitamins. The ultimate EFAs if you're going to use the longevity products. In fact, the whole Healthy Start Pack is probably something you want to consider. In addition to the Biolumin Nightly Essence, I would also throw in the Fucoid Z, and then you might want to get yourself off to a health food store and get 400 international units of vitamin E. Take that daily. 20,000 international units of vitamin A. Take that daily. Maybe 1 gram to 2 grams of arginine. We'll be talking about arginine here in the next few days as being critical for the heart and for the circulatory system. Arginine's not essential, but it's conditionally essential because it's hard for us to get the amount of arginine we need every day. So you may need to go off to the health food store and get that. Don't forget to get some zinc while you're there, 50 milligrams of zinc picolinate, and it's always a good idea to balance your zinc out with copper, maybe 2 to 4 milligrams of copper with 50 milligrams of zinc picolinate every day. And then last but most certainly not least, coenzyme Q10 is critical for all cardiovascular health issues as well as for liver health. So that'll help you with your cirrhosis issues. Maybe 100 milligrams a day of coenzyme Q10. Last but most certainly not least, one of the best, most important all-around nutritional supplements for the liver, for the heart, for detoxification, and as we'll be talking about here in the next few days, also for nitric oxide, is something called glutamine, Glutamine. Maybe half a teaspoonful every day if you're going to use the powder. If you're going to use the capsules, maybe 1 gram a day, 1 gram to 2 grams a day if you're going to use the capsules or the tablets. Glutamine's pretty non-toxic. You can take as much as you want within reason, half a teaspoon a day or a couple grams a day of the glutamine. Okay?
Oh, all
Thank
right.
you so much. Thanks, Paco. God bless, buddy. Good luck, and Happy New Year, too. All right, man.
Okay,
talk to you later.
See you. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Okay, we got Leon back. Leon in Vancouver. What's going on, my man?
You hear me this time, Ben?
I hear ya. How you doing,
Hey,
Leon?
we got through. I got silenced.
That's okay. No, we kept you. We kept you up.
All right. I wanted. You sent me a protocol for my prostate a week ago. I've been on the net trying to search out what kind of beta
sitosterol. You'll find that in the ProstFX from Longevity. And let me tell you something. That stuff, beta sitosterol, it's not a nutrient per se. It's not an essential nutrient, I should say. It's nutritional. It's a kind of steroid, a plant steroid substance, and it is spectacular with a capital S for helping people deal with prostate issues. I mean, it's one of the most amazing single remedies you can take. And I'm not a big believer in remedies. I like working more with nutrition. But I'm telling you what, I've seen this stuff work at 300 milligrams a day like a miracle for folks who are going to the bathroom in the middle of the night multiple times. That's usually what happens when you have a prostate issue. For men over the age of 50, they'll go to the bathroom multiple times. There's actually a commercial running. It's been running for a couple of years for a supplement that has beta sitosterol in it, and they tell you how wonderful the supplement is, and all it really is beta sitosterol. And by the way, that's BETA, beta, sito, S-I-T-O, sterol, meaning steroid, S-T-E-R-O-L. 300 milligrams a day. If you take 300 milligrams a day, you can even take 600 milligrams a day. Most folks will notice relief from prostate issues within less than a week. And I've seen it multiple times. I've seen it work multiple times. You'll get it in the ProstFX, or you can buy it straight. Most health food stores will have beta sitosterol. There's a company called Natural Sources, I believe, that makes a good beta sitosterol. But you'll also get it in the ProstFX from Longevity. Does that help you, Leon, or did you have something else?
Yeah, well, I had a question. I was doing some research. They said a lot of it was made from soy and then some from pine. Is that pine nuts they're talking
pine?
about?
No, it doesn't really matter where it's made from. That's the thing about these derivatives. It doesn't really matter where they're made from. Sometimes you'll hear, oh, well, that vitamin C, it comes from GMO corn, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter. Once it's extracted and once it comes out, there's no corn left in your vitamin C, and there's no mushroom or pine nut or soy left in your beta sitosterol. It's just the beta sitosterol. So it doesn't really matter where these things come from once they're derived out of their sources. So just get the beta sitosterol. I wouldn't worry about where it's derived from.
So but your first recommendation would be Natural Choices. I think I saw their name.
Natural Sources. Natural Sources.
Natural Sources.
Yeah, that's the one that I see most commonly. That's the one I take, actually, beta sitosterol. I take 300 milligrams in the Natural Sources form, and I also take the ProstFX. I haven't had any prostate problems yet, but I'm just trying to prevent them. The prostate is a fatty gland, and you want to focus on fats when it comes to the prostate, in addition to beta sitosterol, which of course is a fat. It's a sterol. Essential fatty acids, omega-3 essential fatty acids, and omega-6s, the ultimate EFAs. Vitamin E, zinc is very important. Vitamin A is very important for the prostate, and keeping your intake of refined processed fats down to a minimum. Fats in the diet are great. It's the refined processed fats that you got to be careful of. The trans fats, the hydrogenated fats, the margarine fats, the Crisco fats, the deep fried fats. Those are really what wreak havoc on the fatty system of the body, including the prostate. Does that help, Leon?
Yeah, well, coconut oil would be okay to...
Coconut oil is great. I love coconut oil. Coconut oil is great if you want to lose weight, too. Coconut oil will get you... Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's one of the best to cook with. Butter and coconut oil, in fact, those are pretty much the two best oils to cook with. Butter, ghee, which is clarified butter, and then coconut oil.
You can't beat the taste of butter on cooked foods. So.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
Broccoli, butter, and Celtic sea salt. Steamed broccoli, dripping with butter, and Celtic sea salt. Everybody loves that. And plus, the butter and the coconut oil will pull the fatty vitamins and the fatty nutrients out of the veggies and out of the eggs and out of the foods that you're eating and make them easier for your body to access and use.
Wow.
All right, I got to move on, Leon. Thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you.
God bless. Happy New Year, my man, and happy holidays. Mike in Arizona, what's up, bro?
Hi,
Mike?
Ben.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Ben. Nice to talk to you. Good morning.
Good to talk to you. What's going on?
I'm 57 years old, good shape.
All right.
Son's a Tangy Tangerine user.
Okay.
I bought a stationary bike. I'm going to start exercising, start a
Good for you.
regimen.
All right.
And he said, and he's not here now, and he walked out the door, Dad, you should take some protein before you exercise. And I was curious what you'd say.
After you exercise.
Okay.
After you exercise. Once your muscles are recovering, that's when they're going to really utilize the protein. Now, it's not the end of the world if you take it before, but after, your body will be more receptive to the protein. Nutrients are always better handled by the body after a workout. And by the way, that's the same with the skin. After you've stimulated the skin with alpha hydroxy acids or exfoliated with a washcloth or beads, that's the time you want to drive in your nutrients into the skin. After stress, your body is most responsive to anything that you want to, any nutrition that you want to put in the system. Got to move, Mike. Thanks so much for your call. God bless, and happy holidays. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for listening to The Bright Side, folks. If you want to join the Bright Side Ben team, please call the phone team at 866-735-2470 or head over to brightsideben.com and click on the Join the Team link. That's all the time we have for today. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for listening. We'll continue talking about ways to upregulate nitric oxide on our next Bright Side episode. Have yourselves a wonderful, spectacular, awesome day. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.